How does Doctor Who choose to scare the kids this time? Holy shit, that's scary as fuck. Tell me when it's over. The Unquiet Dead, written by Mark Gatiss, who also played Professor Lazarus in the Lazarus Experiment in Series 3, and is of course the third episode of Series 1, and takes place after the events at the end of the world, where the Doctor takes Rose back to the Victorian London to meet the legendary acclaimed author Charles Dickens, author of course, A Christmas Carol and Oliver Twist, in the last year of his life, where they discover bodies at an undertaker are coming to life. They are being possessed by none other than gas creatures called the Gelf, who trick the Doctor into helping them, and they seem to have a strange connection with this girl at the Undertaker's called Gwyneth, played by Eve Miles, who can control them and talk to them. So yeah, the Unquiet Dead. How is this episode? It's utterly masterful. It is one of my favourite stories of Series 1. I think this episode is truly, like the end of the world, an underrated Who classic. I mean, this Mark Gatiss has never been my favourite writer, but this is one of his best scripts, easily. This was back when he wrote great stuff. Because this story, it's actually scary. It's actually fucking terrifying. I mean, it's such a dark concept to have ghosts taking control of bodies, and to actually be the first episode where we meet a historical figure, Charles Dickens, who the guy who plays him does a fantastic job. He is Charles Dickens of the 21st century. Charles Dickens just came brilliantly to life. I mean, when Sidney Newman created Doctor Who back in 1963, he originally wanted the show to be more historical and less sci-fi, and this is the first real historical episode of the show, which is wonderful. It's a wonderful change from the first two episodes of this series, which are very much sci-fi. Now, I know people complain about the inclusions of aliens in historical episodes, but I think they work. I mean, they'd be pretty boring without an antagonist or threat. Yes, it's also wonderful that we're not just learning about the Gelf as antagonists. We're also learning about Charles Dickens as a character. We're discovering what a great man he truly is, and you're so glad that he's met the Doctor in the last years of his life, and I really like the Doctor and Rose in this episode. While the Doctor and Rose don't get to do as much here, they're pretty much sidelined in favour of the new supporting characters, which is fine. But it's great how Rose gets to wear a Victorian dress so she can blend in. That's really funny. And the Doctor, he's the man. He's the brains. He's really trying to figure out why the bodies are come to life, and why Gwen is able to control them. And again, Christopher Eccleston and Billie Piper are both nothing short of brilliant. And Eve Miles as Gwen, oh my god, she's fantastic. I mean, she was brilliant as Gwen Cooper in Torchwood, and here she doesn't disappoint either. She has a nice friendship with Rose too. The scene where her and Rose are bonding, that was great. That was really sweet, and you're really wondering and intrigued to know why Gwen has this connection with the Gelf and why she can control them. The Undertaker at times, he can be a bit of an arsehole to Gwyneth. He's really hard on her, but he's confused at the same time. You can see his motivation for being how he is, because he doesn't know why the bodies at his business of all of a sudden coming to life, and he desperately needs help. And the Gelf are fantastic aliens. Like I said before, I don't mind that they were included in a historical story. They work perfectly with Victorian London. They obviously did believe in ghosts at the time, and the scene where Gwyneth controls them and make contact with them, it's so well shot and so terrifying when the Gelf trick and manipulate the Doctor into helping them and sympathising with them. I love manipulative antagonists, and they obviously use the Time War as an excuse to get the Doctor on their side, and of course it's up to Rose to convince him, no Doctor, they cannot be trusted, but the Doctor just blindly doesn't listen, and at the end when the Gelf do possess the bodies and almost get them killed, and the Doctor obviously paid the price for that, so at least he learnt from his mistakes. And the setting of this episode is beautiful. They got Victorian London perfectly down to a T. This episode one of the best production designs I've ever seen for Doctor Who. I'm not kidding. The episode, like I said, is so terrifying. It is one of the scariest stories of Series 1. I love a Doctor Who story that's actually scary, with scary monsters. That's something that the Stephen Moffat era completely lacks in comparison to the Russell T Davies era, which had it all. The Russell T Davies era, it really scared the kids and shocked the kids and made them think, which is what Doctor Who should do. It's supposed to make the entire family hide behind the sofa, like it did in the classic days too, which this episode exceeds that flawlessly. I mean, the opening alone of this episode is brilliant. It had me on the edge of my seat and kept me certainly hiding behind the sofa when the woman at the Undertaker just came to life and she strangled him. I was like, holy fucking shit, this is not a kid's story. So yeah, I'd recommend adults watching this episode with your kids. It's such a shame Doctor Who's become so kid friendly now and so safe. It just doesn't take risks anymore. It's not so ambitious. It doesn't scare you anymore like it used to. So I'm hoping Chris Chibnall is going to bring the scare factor back. And of course Murray Gold's music again, nothing short of brilliant. Still gets 2 thumbs up from me. And the ending of this episode where Gwyneth sacrifices herself to get everyone out, to defeat the Gelf. It's really emotional. It's really sad because Gwyneth was so innocent and nice, and but she was so brave as well, knowing she was the only one who could save them. And I'm not gonna lie, when the Doctor and Rose said goodbye to Charles Dickens and left in the TARDIS, that made me cry. It made me think maybe Charles Dickens actually did meet the Doctor. I know that's unlikely, but it could have well happened. So overall, The Unquiet Dead is a masterpiece. I love it. So good job, Mark Gatiss. I mean, this will forever be one of your best stories. Please try this hard more often. It's had scares, thrills, excitement, flawless production design, great performances. It had it all. It's a classic. I give The Unquiet Dead 5 stars out of 5. God, when Doctor Who was actually scary, missed those days. Well, I love you guys. Thank you all so much for watching. And what did you think of The Unquiet Dead? Please comment and let me know. Please like this video and subscribe. Please follow me on Twitter and on my Google+, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.